Well, this one being a hack per se, but a lot of listeners and clients of the 800 Credit Score Man LLC have significantly increased their credit scores. So they've come from, 585 and they're up above 700. So now is the time to have your insurance premiums reevaluated. Most insurance companies allow this at least once a year. So you can give them a call once a year, ask them to reevaluate it, right? So if you didn't realize this, yes, your homeowner's insurance, your car premium are in part. So not totally, right? So this is not the be all to end all, but in part are based on your credit scores, right? So a higher credit score can actually lower your premium. So if you haven't had an evaluation on your insurance in quite some time, the company may do it once a year on their own or once every 2 years or what have you on their own, and you had a lower credit score back in the day when you started with them. This is a good time for you, now that you've improved your credit score, to give them a call and have them reevaluated. Now I have no idea how much it impacts your score, or how significant this is, how much it's going to lower it. I can't imagine that. Of course, it's not as important as where you live, your driving record, the value of your car, etc. But often when we say we have no extra money, we can't save for whatever, we can't save for this, that, and the third. There's here's a place where you can go ahead and you can maybe find a little bit of extra money by having this reevaluation if your credit scores have increased. Maybe it just saves you $10 a month. So if it saves you $10 a month, that's $120 a year. If you're sitting on a savings account in the emergency fund or whatever that is $500 or $400 or zero, this $120 a year could absolutely help you, right? So it's better than saving nothing at all. Or maybe this $10 a month could pay your Netflix bill. Maybe it pays your Hulu bill. Maybe it pays your Disney Plus bill or what have you. But it's possible that you can save some money. So when we say we just can't find any money, we're spending everything that comes in, every dime or what have you. This might be a place where you can go, and all because of what? Because you increased your credit scores. That's the whole reason behind you being able to do something like this, is because you increase your credit scores. So if those credit scores have gone up, do not hesitate to give them a ring and see if they're reevaluated and see what happens. All right. Make sure that you know all the stuff that you need to know when you give them a call. All right. Make sure you know what your deductible is. Don't. If you've got $1,000 deductible on something and you were comfortable with having $1,000 deductible, I encourage you not to allow them to talk you into a $500 deductible, because then the lower that deductible, then the more your insurance premium is. Right. So make sure that you know what you're talking about when you give them a call. But it's well worth doing to save a few extra bucks. Again, if it's $10 a month, it's $120 a year that you got back in your pocket that you can use for something else, I'm sure. So make sure you give them a call. And that's even for you big money people. All you people out there that are not getting a stimulus check because you make more than whatever the amount is, $75,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or whatever, you're not getting a stimulus check. Even you can stand a little bit of savings. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. It's a lot of people. Let me say that again. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. It's a lot of people out there that make 120 G's and they don't have a emergency fund. They don't have a savings plan. They are living month to month, just like the person that's making $30,000 a year, just like the underpaid teacher that's buying her own things for her classroom or his classroom. So just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean that you got a lot of money. You understand? So it's not how much money that you make, it's how much money you get to keep. So keep that in mind, you guys. All right. So let's move on to something else. Oh, you know what? Right before we do that, I'm gonna pause right quick and give an advertisement right quick. Hey, you guys, go check out Figures. Yes, Figures.com. It's F as in Freddie, Figgers, Figures.com. You can go there. My code is credit score as one word. Credit score, CREDITSCORE as one score, so you can get some additional off. But go check them out. $60 per month for unlimited text, unlimited talk, and unlimited data on a nationwide 4G LTE network. Some of you guys are really tripping out there about 5G. This is a 4G network. Go to Figures. That's FIGGERS.com. Check them out. If you want to go directly with my code, you go to orders, ORDERS, orders-figures.com/credit score. And that'll apply right at the checkout when you go there. Go get some of that money off. And there's no contract. There's no contract either. You can port your number. For those of you who don't know what porting is, you can take your number with you. Whatever your number is, go ahead, take that number with you. Or you can get you a new number, get you a phone, and move on with your life. But yes, no contract either. So if you want to bail out after 4 or 5 months, knock yourself out and bail out and go on back to the people that was charging you twice as much a month for your wireless services. So check out Figures.com, you guys. All right, so let's get to another hack. So okay, we talked. So let's recap right quick. Filing that dispute, right, and having it removed, if you will, from your credit score while that dispute is going on. Who cares about this? Mortgage companies do. Who doesn't care? Other finance companies, auto, furniture, jewelry, the Best Buys of the world. They don't care, right? Authorized user, one of my favorites. Make sure you do the authorized user thing. The hack when it comes to your insurance, right? You got that increasing your credit score, your insurance. Hack number 4. Instead of only paying down your credit card debt to reduce your credit utilization to under 30%, you can also reduce this utilization by increasing your credit limits. Yes, by increasing your credit limits. So here's a disclaimer. Some increase requests are hard inquiries. Some of them are hard inquiries. So ask your credit card company before you let them run your credit or whatever to give you an increase. But yes, of course, we want to pay down our debt. You can do it on your own, if you can, little by little, big chunks at a time, or whatever it is to get under 30% to help you with your credit score, right? So you can do that. But in addition to being able to do that, if you get an increase in your credit limits and you don't spend it, you get an increase in your credit limits, that also lowers your credit utilization at the same time. All right. Another portion of what you can do when it deals with your credit utilization, if your scores are decent, your scores are decent, and you won't be, you won't be tempted to go ahead and, charge it. You could also get an additional credit card. So if you get an additional credit card, what do you have? You have additional limits. So just like if you got an increase, and let's say most places, if they give you an increase, if it's just $500, maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $2,000. But if you are also, or if in addition to that, you got another credit card and you get that limit as well, it's like doing the same thing. So just imagine if you did both. If you did both at the same time, now your limits have increased, and that's going to bring down your credit utilization, right? So what did we say you can do? One of the things you can do is ask for an increase, so you can get that increase. And the other thing you could do is absolutely apply for and obtain another credit card. You do that, it's going to increase the amount of money that you have available to you. And if you keep the same balances or you lower them because you're paying on them, right? your credit utilization is going to go down. So that's a way to do it. Not just paying it down and doing a snowball or doing an avalanche or whatever it is. That's not the only way you can reduce that credit utilization. Here are 3 different ways you can do it. Pay it down. If you go ahead and get an increase on the current card that you already have, or if you obtain another card. Now, if you obtain another card, the benefits may take 2 to 3 months to really kick in when you get a new card. When it comes to your credit utilization, it may take 2 or 3 months for the credit bureaus and for FICO to really get a hold of what's happening and increase your credit scores and make that, like, you'll see that calculation difference if you're, on a Credit Sesame or whatever. You'll see that calculation difference in there, but it may take that 2 to 3 months for it to really kick in and help you with your credit score when it comes to this particular hack. And of course, if you're getting a new card, you obtain a new card, or even if they run your credit for this increase, you're going to lose a few points, 3 to 5 points you're going to lose, but it's most likely, and I say that it's worth it in the long run by doing so. So just imagine if you used hack number 4 of obtaining an increase on a current card that you already have, and you use hack number 5 by getting a new credit card, and you pay down your debt at the same time, you'll get your utilization down much, much faster. So getting your credit utilization down faster will be good for you. If you hit that 30% threshold, you're going to see that significant bump, and trust me, you'll be so happy with what you see in there. Now, let's get to like a bonus hack, if you will. All right, let's say you have a credit utilization of 40%, but you got a bonus. Maybe you inherited some money. Maybe you won the lottery. Maybe you got your taxes back, or that stimulus money that you already have, and maybe round 2 is coming, so you got some stimulus money. Instead of paying off, your credit, you say, look, I'm going to get out of this credit card debt, right? Instead of paying off all at once, pay it down in increments. Listen to me. So some of us, we got money. You've been listening to the 800 Credit Score Man show. You're gung-ho. You're like, yep, I'm going to get down to 30%, but I'm getting down to 0, and I'm getting down there right now. I got this money sitting in my bank account, and I'm going to get rid of it right now. Pay it down in increments. Here's why you want to do that. So I said you're at 40%. Let's say you're at the 40%. Go down to 25%. Yep, less than the 30%. 30% is just it's the highest you want to be, right? So pay it down to 25%. I know you got the money. And listen, people, let me stop here. You got to stick with the plan. I know, I understand. Sometimes you're like, hey, I just want to do it. I got it. Why not do it? There's a reason behind doing things this way. I had a particular client at one point in time. We made a strategy. If you guys listen to my collection strategy and how to negotiate and pay them off and when to do it. So this particular person, I don't know, got their taxes or whatever it is, came to some money prior to the strategy that we had of talking to the collection agency and paying off in the third quarter, and they wanted to do it in the second quarter. Just because they had the money in their pocket, and I guess it was burning a hole in their pocket. You got to stick with the plan and the strategy. So it was a caveat. Let me get back to this. You're at 40%, right? Pay it down to 25%. You're going to see a bump, an increase in your credit score. All right. The next month or so, pay it down, since you got this money in your hand, right? Pay it down to 10%. Now, there is a little bit of evidence, some evidence out there that, that magical, I'm putting up air quotes in the studio, that magical percentage of 30% is great. But then at 10% utilization, it's also significant. All right. So 30 is significant if you get your utilization down to 30%, but 10% seems to be significant as well. People are seeing some upticks in their credit reports at 10%. So you were at 40. You paid down to 25%. Now you're going to pay it down to 10%. All right. So when you hit that 10%, you're likely to see that increase, that bump yet again. Now listen to this. Those of you with higher credit scores, unfortunately, those credit increases are not as significant as those people with lower credit scores. So if you got a lower credit score, you're in the bad to poor and maybe even on the lower range of fair,